Welcome everybody. Today we're going to talk about education, professors and teachers, because traditional education is not the same thing. We are living in a digital revolution, as everybody knows. That's why we invite Professor Juan Arteaga to talk about his experience in the online education. Professor, welcome.
Thank you so much, Marta, and thank you for having me. I'm ready to just answer your question whenever you want.
Thank you, Professor. Could you please do just a mini intro about your professional experience?
Absolutely. I have 40 years of a professional experience, and 25 of them have been teaching, coaching, or tutoring people in 3 continents around the world.
Professor, tell us about your experience during this last year, especially online education, online teaching.
Due to our pandemic, actually, the online education has changed. The adaptation of the human being to respond to actually a threat has been changed the method of education tremendously. Online right now represents one of the biggest and the key in order to just to provide and communicate ideas throughout the world.
Now let's talk about the experience for your students.
The students have already adapted. The reason why is because due to the situation, human beings have already to be adapted. Adaptation is part of the new natural being of the human. So online has become right now part of the existing living life, and online just allow you to work in that time where you're not working. Just keep in mind that most of the online students use the time to work and then have an extra time in order to get educated and more competitive in the world is really important to everyone.
Let's talk about the performance of the students.
Yeah, they have performing very well, meaning that the students at the institutional education who has already transmitted that information to the online student have already created a system in order to just to test and also grade each one of them according with the needs. Just keep in mind that online education has changed not only in the developing country as well as a not developing country. So each one of the countries have already developed the system in order to get that person and just meet their needs. So online students, most of the online students live in a continent where actually they don't have the complete means that we have right now here in developing country. However, it was a task, a really task from the government in order to teach them and getting result. I can tell you right now there was a really positive, and the students have already replied really positive to the system as well as to the trial, because we were trying at the beginning, but now it's going to become as a fact. We need the online education in order to continue, transmitting information for them.
From your own experience, how you engage your students?
Basically, depends on where they live in. Each one of us living in different countries, however, they have a living goals. So part of the goals are already met with our local and as well as some of us just looking for an international. So as soon as you meet your goals locally by using the online system, you are able to open doors, not only locally as a government, as a country, as well as international. So the online does provide that. They're not able to just to get in face-to-face education. They give you more broad system, more broad capabilities in order to that online students to move ahead. And this is really, really, really important right now.
And the motivation, Professor?
The motivation for the human being is just to improve. Everyone has to improve. So it is a human being.
But what about the interaction? Because it's also very important especially between young people.
The young people are looking at you as a teacher as well as your image for your parents. And that they want to just to know that you are able to transmit that information to them. This is exactly what happened when a young kid go to the school. They look at the teacher as what? A continuation of what? their home. So they're looking at you at that. So you have to provide that kind of confidence in order to them to just grow up, assimilate the concept as well as to continue.
In other words, the traditional education is practically evolution, is changing to digital.
In fact, yes, I can tell you yes, because right now, for an entity that wants to just to provide or communicate more broadly information, having audiences more than 20 or 40 per class is so important right now. So we have the means, we have the tools, and also now we have the necessity to do that. It's very imperative for each country, okay, to have all the means and have a person like me or somebody else who are interacting. Interacting is very important. Interacting face to face have the same different level that interacting online student. However, interacting is the best thing to communicate ideas. It's the best way to tell whoever is capturing or taking our ideas, okay, and just prove what the actually textbook said or something that's already read.
So for you, which would be the ideal stage of education?
Did you compare, let me put it this way, if you compare online education and on-campus education or face-to-face education, they have different purpose right now. So, and the audience is completely different. One of them have the advantage and also the disadvantage. However, both of them have more advantage than disadvantage. Okay, the advantage on online education are really very broader. Okay, and the reason is because we can able to transmit to more people.
Everywhere.
And also,
Everywhere.
very important what you said, everywhere. You can just talk to now and talk to someone in Africa, in Zimbabwe, or to someone in the Andes of Peru or Colombia, okay? And then this won't be happening until you have on-present or face-to-face education. It's very, very, very not only important, I see it's a necessity right now.
Professor Arteaga, by your own experience, do you have any recommendation to the other professor how to improve teaching online?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, the main thing that the educator have to have right now is know the means. Knows very, very, I think, excellent how the digital media works, how each one of the components works. It's so important that right now the student or someone who actually listening to you is that you are capable to manage all of them, and this instantly. It's gonna be snapped away because this generation is how actually they want to. Someone who actually is able to transmit the information in the way they are right now, everybody's teaching them. It's the instant communication, the instant response. They're not waiting until tomorrow. They want to right now. And then they're moving at the speed of the light.
That's true. That's true.
That's true, right.
Okay, Professor, we appreciate that you came here to our studio, and thank you so much for all this information.
Absolutely, Marta. Anytime that you want to, I'm able to just to discuss any topic that you want to, any question that you may have. So Marta's over here, Video 40 is over here, and any platform. We can just work in any platform around throughout the world, okay?
Excellent,
Thank
Professor.
you so much for having me.
All right.